All right, well, it's 8 o'clock. Time once again for Media Boat. Did you start Audacity?
No, I will do that now.
No, you did not. Okay. Well, while you start Audacity, I'll tell everyone that we went live.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Oh, I wonder who won the basketball game. I think that was today. Actually, yeah, it's going on right now.
Kevin Durant's lost shoe.
Kevin Durant's shoe.
Kevin Durant's shoe was lost by the basketball.
Apparently, Skate 4 is going to be a part of E3.
Hashtag Skate 4.
Hashtag Skate 4 is still a thing. Who's ready for hashtag Skate 4?
Hashtag Skate 4. Wow, that's close. 85-83.
Yeah. Okay, done. Next, send now. We are live. We are good to go. So let's start the show. Yeah, my phone's been weird. Charging. Alright, so you have that.
I have this.
And I shall start this. And we are good to go.
We're good to go. Welcome to the Media Boat Podcast.
Woo, 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 woo.
That's our theme song now. We're just us going woo 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 woo. Enjoy it.
Yep.
Media Boat Podcast. Hi, it's Wednesday. It is June. Is June?
It's June. Man, it's June.
6th?
June 6th.
June the 6th, 2018. The Media Boat Podcast is your source for news about movies, music, video games, the television, whatever the hell we cover.
Also, not in that order.
Not necessarily in that order. My name is Matt. His name is Mike.
I'm Mike. He's Matt. He's
Yeah.
out of order.
I'm all out of order.
Where are you? Do you know where you're at right now?
I'm on Google Docs, according to this is what I'm reading. Yeah, looks up to date to me.
No, it is not up to date.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It's pretty up to date.
No, it's not up to date.
Oh, you mean the box office?
The box office is
numbers.
not up to date.
Well, then we're going to have to play this by ear. We usually start with movies, and we usually start with box office numbers.
All right, box
we got
office.
them fresh from the source here.
Fresh here.
What's our number one movie this week?
Number one is once again Solo, a Star Wars story, with 29 million.
Okay.
65% drop.
Yep.
That thing's taken. People are calling that a bust.
I mean, I don't think in any universe a $100 million plus movie is a bust. But that being said,
it's grossed 150 domestically.
Yeah.
You know, that's a bust.
It's just compared to
all other Star Wars.
Yes, compared to all other Star Wars, compared to a lot of movies that came out this year, it is definitely falling a lot faster than I think we anticipated.
Yeah, it is.
Number
two is Deadpool 2 with 23 million.
All right.
Number 3 is Newcomer, Adrift. The Shailene Woodley movie.
Shailene Woodley is alone on a boat.
Yep. Number 4 is Avengers Infinity War with another 10 million. Things are going to cross 650 by next weekend. Rounding out your top 5 is Book Club with 7 million.
Still hanging in that
hanging
top
in there.
5. Wow.
Yeah. And at number 6 was the Newcomer Upgrade.
Upgrade.
With the other newcomer, Action Point, barely making it at number 9 with 2.3 million.
Poor Action Point, just dead in the water.
Yeah.
No one cares about the
Johnny
Jackass
Knoxville
guys anymore.
Johnny Knoxville's no longer a thing.
You think their stars dropped off since they've been gone for a while?
Yeah, I mean,
what was the last thing they did? The Bad Grandpa?
Bad Grandpa. For the producer of Oscar-winning Bad Grandpa?
Yes,
Academy Award-winning
Bad Grandpa.
Yes.
Not to be confused with Dirty Grandpa.
Right, which is
very different movie.
Which is the Zac Efron, Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro.
Which I think was the last thing Robert De Niro was in besides the upcoming Irishman.
Yikes.
So I think that's right.
Sounds right. So that was your box office for this week. Next week, your coming soon releases for this Friday include Hereditary. What is Hereditary?
This is that scary movie we've been talking about for a while now.
Oh, right. One of our coworkers wants to see this real bad.
Yes.
Even though he's terrified by it. So it's is this part of a series or is this an original thing? Do you know?
This is an original thing.
Okay.
it's scary. Basically, grandmother dies, and then the whole family realizes the hereditary horrors that the bloodline brings.
Double H. I like the alliteration there.
Yeah.
Hereditary horrors.
Hereditary horrors.
Basically, horror runs in the family.
Yeah. Apparently this thing's got like 100% so far on Rotten Tomatoes.
Damn.
It premiered at both Sundance and I think Cannes, and people are talking up this movie like it's the best horror movie ever.
Canes.
Yes.
Like Raising Cane's, the
Yeah.
chicken place.
Canes.
I'm going to go down to Cane's and show off my movie. And also get some rad strips. That's what I'm going to do.
It's caned.
Cane's.
Caned.
Cane's.
Tell them caned.
Can.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so what else is coming out?
Also, Hotel Artemis.
This one I am excited to see.
What is this?
This is an action film starring Jodie Foster as a doctor of a basically underground arms dealer for the underground arms dealers and black market. Think dark web, the hospital for the dark web.
Okay.
Where
Dark Web Hospital.
Yep. Wherein one night, 3 patients enter, 1 leaves.
Scary.
No, it's not a horror, it's an action film. It's a shoot 'em up action.
Okay.
It actually looks good. I was excited when the trailer came out because I didn't know this was a thing, but the trailer sold me.
Alright.
It's a cool concept.
Every once in a while that'll happen.
Yeah.
And then lastly, your big release for the weekend will likely be your #1 movie next week.
Hopefully.
Bar some sort of terrible disaster, which could very
Hopefully
happen.
will be the #1 movie.
Ocean's 8, your all-female reboot of the Ocean's franchise, starring a star-studded cast.
Reboot? Reimagining?
Maybe just sequel. I don't know. However you read it.
Sandra
this
Bullock
a big
is
deal.
related to
George Clooney's character. But besides that, though, this is very clearly a new thing. This is very like they're taking the familiar concept and basically rebuilding it.
Yeah.
It seems really cool. Early buzz has been positive.
Oh, that's good.
And the cast rocks. So yeah, I'm pushing for this one. I hope it does well.
Oh yeah, I'm pushing this for this one too. This one is our go-to.
Are you gonna see
I
it?
will definitely see it this weekend.
Okay. So you'll talk about it next week.
I'll talk about that next week.
Sweet. All right. That is the releases for this week, which moves us into movie news. First up, in the movie news docket is a story that we saw coming a while ago. Warner Brothers has now announced and confirmed that Jared Leto will be getting his own movie as the Joker.
Wait. Do we want to do that now, or do you want to do
I'm doing
thoughts?
that now. I'm doing it in order.
Okay, well, we'll do thoughts at the end then.
Yeah, might as well.
All right.
Since usually we do it now if there's a movie in the top 5, but since I didn't have the top 5 correct,
yeah,
I got out of order.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll talk about it later.
There was no segue, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about Warner Brothers.
But yeah, so first up, the Jared Leto Joker will be getting his own spin-off movie, unfortunately.
Yes, there was talks about this happening. Jared Leto wanted this to happen, and now he's getting his way. Yeah,
so Leto will star and executive produce the film, and expand on the world with future installments to tie in, including the already announced Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, who will be in the ensemble flick Birds of Prey.
Right, that's the all-female cast.
That's like her, Ivy, Poison Ivy, some other characters.
All-female villains.
Something like that.
Something like that.
So yeah, note, though, that this will be different than the already announced Todd Phillips' Joker origin story that will see Joaquin Phoenix as the character. Yeah.
Yeah.
So both of those movies are being made.
Yes, this was weird when I read this. So there are 2 Joker films being made.
Right.
One's an origin story starring Joaquin Phoenix, and one is Jared Leto's version, which is going to either be what happened right before or right after Suicide Squad, or maybe during where the Joker was. But yeah, according to the DCEU canon, both these films will be canon.
Weird.
Yes.
So how are they going to differentiate?
They're not. Well, one is how Joker became the Joker, which is basically taking the story of one bad day, and turning that into a film. That's taken from the Killing Joke.
See this blank face.
The Killing Joke.
Okay, sure.
Basically, they make the Killing Joke
All
into a live action film, or at least part of it taken from that story, and then they're going to do a new original kind of film with Jared Leto's character.
Okay. Well,
I assume it's not original. I assume it's going to be based off something, but
Yeah.
He will be the Joker.
Regardless of how that shakes out, we'll have more Joker movies, including one that people generally didn't like. But hey, whatever. People got to make their money, I suppose.
Yeah.
Moving on, our next story is about somebody else who plays a superhero in superhero movies, but not anymore. But he used to. Jeremy Renner.
Oh yeah.
Jeremy Renner.
The hot guy.
Hawkeye.
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 Yeah, hot guy. That's what I'm saying. Hot guy.
Former Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner, is going to be in the new movie Tag.
Yes. This is the story about the lifelong friends who play tag during a month. Yeah. Tag. Adults playing tag.
Yeah, I loved when I heard about this movie existing for the first time, because there is a BoJack Horseman bit in like the first or second season where they try to pitch a movie. Todd tries to pitch a movie based on Tag, and that was a joke.
Yeah,
and now it's actually happening.
It's an actual thing, Matt.
But anyways, so yes, Jeremy Renner stars in Tag, but those arms, yes, his arms in the movie are not going to be his real arms.
And that's what's hilarious about this thing.
Let me explain. So, back in July 2017, he broke both his arms during a stunt gone wrong on the film and had his arms replaced with CG to finish filming. The injury occurred just 3 days into the 40-day production, and he had to wear green screen casts for the majority of the filming.
Yeah.
So if Jeremy Renner's arms look like Brandon Routh's mustache, there's
Brandon Routh?
or whatever the hell is...
I know you were trying to make Superman reference, but that's the wrong Batman. That's
wrong Superman?
That's the wrong Superman.
What's his name?
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill. That's right. Whatever. I was close. Tried.
I know.
Anyways.
I know you did. I'll give you points for trying.
Points for trying. That's all I wish. So yeah, check out Jeremy Renner's arms. I mean, you were already going to, but now you have another reason.
Right, but so basically, if you see him moving his arms, that's probably not him. You're going to see a lot of like headshots, just framed them weirdly, where he don't show his arms or his arms are hidden. That's because they're broken.
Good to know. Moving on, another thing that's not broken is sequels to movies from a long time ago. And here's another one. Reese Witherspoon.
And Reese Without Her Spoon.
And Reese Without Her Spoon. Is going to be in a Legally Blonde 3, as that has just been made as MGM has just made a deal to make that a movie. It will be written by Kristen Smith and Karen McCullough, who are the writers of the original script. They're back to write this final film in the Legally Blonde trilogy.
Hopefully it's the final film.
Chances are. The original director, Robert Luketic, will not be returning. The studio is looking for a new, fresh director. That's your quote, not mine.
Yes, that is definitely my quote.
The original film was released in 2003 on an $18 million budget and went on to gross $141 million, because that's the kind of thing movies used to do. This is
$100 million. If you cross the $100 million mark, that was a success.
So this will be currently slated as MGM's third title in production, alongside Creed 2 and the Bond 25, which we talked about last week.
Yep. Remember when we talked about how MGM was dead?
They're still making stuff.
Yeah, they're still making stuff. MGM is not that dead, apparently.
Not super dead, but hey, you can do a lot when you're in bankruptcy court.
Yeah.
It will also be co-produced by Witherspoon's Hello Sunshine company.
It's a great name for her. That's a great name for her.
Hello Sunshine. All right. Hello trailers, because the next thing we get to talk about are newest trailers that have creeped into your life. There are trailers out for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is that animated Spider-Man movie with where it's crossover of all the comic book
universe. Yes, there's multiple Spider-Men, and in the trailer, Spider-Woman. That's right. We get to see Spider-Gwen in this thing.
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy is Spider.
Yes. Everything. There was some interesting stuff going on.
Yeah, so we'll see an elder Spider-Man teach the younger Miles Morales, the new Spider-Man,
right?
How things are going to go. And then Spider-Gwen happens. It's kind of funny. There's a lot of comic book stuff in it, like dialogue boxes and what's happening and explaining the characters. There's also some humor in it. It's very stylistic. It's definitely, this is from Sony Animation.
Yeah.
And looks interesting. Comes out Christmas.
Yeah.
Keep your eye out for more trailers on this thing.
So, comic book people. Nothing to check out.
Yep. Probably Comic-Con.
Yeah.
We're going to see another trailer.
Perhaps. That's coming quick.
Yep.
Also, in the trailer verse this week, Wreck-It Ralph 2 got its, I guess, theatrical trailer?
Story trailer.
Story trailer. So this is the one that actually goes more into what this thing's about. The internet was aflame after the whole after it came out because of the Disney princesses scenes.
Yes, there was a screenshot of Disney princesses in the upcoming Empire magazine, and everyone went abuzz saying Disney's making it canon, which then Disney basically said, "Hold your horses." Release the trailer.
See the trailer. And
the whole thing is basically a big Disney promotion.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a neat idea, though.
Yeah.
And to see the princesses interact with each other is fun.
It's also a good way for people who are not in the know to see how much Disney owns now.
Right. Right. Which is the fun thing. Even though I have, some conflicting thoughts about the original Wreck-It Ralph, I think it's a cool thing that this is now a Disney franchise as opposed to just a one-off movie. Yeah. Because they can do fun stuff like this. This is almost like their Kingdom Hearts. This is their thing that they're also Kingdom Hearts, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The movie version of that, where it's like, here's a thing that we can kind of mess around and reference ourselves with. They needed that.
As I saw on the online, on the internet.
You saw on the online?
I saw on the internet.
In the deep web?
That this is Disney's version of Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Where they can make a lot of references to themselves.
Right.
And get away with it.
So yeah, it's potentially a cool angle for that movie to take. But I don't know. A lot remains to be seen with that thing. So we'll see. Also in trailers, Bumblebee, the spinoff of the Transformers franchise, starring Bumblebee!
Ah, yes. Yeah. And no Mark Wahlberg to be seen.
No.
But this will be a origin story of Bumblebee.
Isn't Shailene Woodley supposed to be in this one too?
I don't think so. I don't think that was Shailene Woodley.
I thought she was.
I think at one point she may have been.
Yeah, I think at one point Shailene Woodley was supposed to be in this movie.
But yeah. I don't know what to make of this thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Bumblebee.
1, I don't want it.
Yeah, who wants it?
2, are we basically retconning Bumblebee's origins like 5 times already?
Yes.
3, Bumblebee cannot talk in this thing still.
No, Bumblebee just makes sounds, man.
Yes.
That's what Bumblebee does.
4, they tried to make a Rick Astley joke and then immediately went away from it. So I know where their minds are at of what they think of culture, of what's relevant.
I think they're a little behind the times.
By like 10 years or so.
Yeah. Yeah, so that exists.
Yeah.
There's a trailer out. See that if you want. Also,
or don't.
Also, a couple of trailers that look a little better than that. There is a Lego Movie 2, guys.
Oh, yes. This looks good. Lego Movie, it's not called Part 2. Bricked 2? Maybe it's Part 2. Or
I don't remember.
I don't know. It's a fun
But yeah,
title.
There's a sequel to
The Lego Movie.
The Lego Movie. That trailer's out. That will be probably awesome. I love the first Lego Movie.
Yes, Lego Movie is great. Phil Lord, Chris Miller at their finest. The first movie was 90% Legos, like actual stop motion Lego.
Yeah.
This one's not going to be that much.
Right.
And they're scaling it back.
But
we've also had 2 Lego movies since then.
Yeah.
So they've kind of perfected the.
I'm sure their pipeline, got refined over the course of these years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then lastly, A Star Is Born, the remake. Bradley Cooper is helming this one. I believe he's also directing.
He is starring and directing this. I think he's also producing it as well.
Also starring Lady Gaga.
That's right. Lady
Yes.
Gaga is starring
Gaga.
in this.
So when we watched this trailer, our reaction was, "Oh man, this is Oscar bait, isn't it?"
Yeah.
They're definitely going for a very dramatic tone.
And I immediately, after the trailer ended, I
Yeah.
said, and Academy Award nominee, Lady Gaga.
Probably. I mean, good for her. I wouldn't be surprised if both of them.
I would be surprised if she wrote an original song and then wins that way.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe both. Why not?
Because she can only win once.
That's not true.
I know.
All right. So those are your trailers. Let's wrap up movies. You saw a couple of movies. Which
Yes.
one do you want to talk about first?
Backstreet Boys won a Country Music Award.
Yep.
And that's what we missed.
Wow. Oh yeah, the CMT
The
awards are
CMTs.
happening right now. We don't get CMTs. We can't watch them.
Yeah. So
But,
apparently
yeah.
okay. Well, that happened. So let's talk about some movies we
All right.
watched.
What were we talking about?
All right. So you brought up Shailene Woodley because she was recently in Drift.
So you saw Adrift.
I saw Adrift.
You saw Adrift.
I was disappointed there weren't any cars,
In Adrift.
and it wasn't in Tokyo.
All right.
All right. Now that those drifts are
What's
out
up
of the
with
way,
the drift?
Adrift just made me realize how much Life of Pi was great.
They're not really the same concept at all.
Actually, they are.
No.
Yeah.
There's no tiger on that boat.
When you watch the movie, you'll understand.
Oh, no.
Also, spoiler.
Is there a tiger on that boat?
Also, spoiler.
Is there a
but-
tiger shark on that boat?
No.
Oh.
But yeah,
There's
listen.
a regular
So,
shark on the boat?
so this thing is produced by Shailene Woodley.
Okay.
Like she gets a solely executive producer Tyler
Weird.
on this thing.
Alright.
She's the star of this
She's
thing,
got...
and I'm
Fireworks
looking
goes.
at this thing as her film, not to audiences, but to studios rather, saying,
Look at me.
Look
I'm
at
a
me.
bankable star. You can put me in an important movie.
one,
Yeah.
look, I can act.
Yeah.
Two, I'm no longer the Divergent girl. Three, I can choose projects on my own.
She's trying to prove that she is in fact divergent.
Yes, she's trying
From
to prove
Divergent.
that she is still the Jennifer Lawrence-esque girl Hollywood wants her to be. Discount Jennifer Lawrence.
So the question now is she?
No,
No.
no,
Okay.
no. As entertaining as this film was, once the twist came, spoiler, there's a twist.
Of course.
But once the twist came, it made every other action about this film meaningless. And I stopped caring.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, about halfway through the film, I was like, yeah, this is basically Shailene Woodley, look at me film.
Yeah. Look what I can do.
This is what, like, arms in the air, look at me acting. I am struggling. I am crying. I am laughing. I go through all the range of emotions an actor can do. And note that this is not me bagging on her. This is not me hating on Shailene Woodley. I think she is actually a pretty good actress. This is just me saying that this project she chose for herself is very much a look at me on a pedestal, focus only on me, because literally she's the only character and the only in-name character there is.
I have a question.
There are spots where there could have been other people of names that she could have brought on to star in this thing, but no.
Well, I have a question then about this movie, because when I saw the trailer for it, my first thought was like, I'm getting some Castaway vibes from this. The thing about Castaway is that most of that movie is just Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
So, what does Tom Hanks do that Shailene Woodley cannot, I guess? Because that's what it sounds like you're saying, is that she can't pull this movie off by herself.
She can't start a fire.
Yeah.
She can't make me believe.
That too, but I'm sure. It's just not convincing.
One, it's not convincing. Two, it's the way the movie is set up, is edited. Because it starts off with her already in the broken ship, and then flashes back 3 weeks earlier, or 3 months earlier, and then like every 10 minutes or so, it bounces back and forth until you get to the point where they're like in the storm, and then the reveal happens, and then it goes on there for about another 20 minutes. But once that reveal happens, I didn't really care for the other 20 minutes.
Okay.
And it's just the way that it's cut up and the way that it's paced. So, like I say, it's not Shailene Woodley's fault. She's a pretty good actress in this thing. It's the film itself that I have the problem with. Both the directing and the editing.
Okay. Alright, so it's just not a very well-made movie.
Yeah.
And
I guess
so
that's...
what she's trying to do falls flat because of that, less so because of her.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you like Shailene Woodley as an actress, definitely check out this film.
Support this.
Support this film because
you want her to get more jobs.
Yeah.
This is it.
Right, but this is also basically this is her. Remember she was in The Descendants and it was good and basically brought her spotlight.
Yeah.
That's what she wanted this thing to be too.
This is not that.
This is not that. Unfortunately.
All right. Well, you also so in the patented media boat scale, what do you give this one?
Stream it. It's not a bad. It's not a bad film. It's just it's definitely not an audience favoring film.
Fair enough. All right. You also saw another movie.
Yes.
You saw Upgrade.
Yes.
Was it an upgrade from Adrift?
Actually, it was.
All right. Tell us about Upgrade.
So, I saw a poster for this thing about a month ago, and then I happened to see the trailer for it while I was watching that film. And I enjoyed the trailer. I thought it's a great concept about a man who gets implanted with an artificial intelligence chip in his basically neck spine area.
Oh no, not my neck spine.
Yeah, not your neck spine area. And allows him basically sci-fi-esque, not supernatural, but superhuman powers. Because the robot can control and doesn't have a brain to basically say, no, stop, you're doing this too much, or you don't know what you're doing. To counter think things.
Right.
So, knowing that premise that's a sci-fi futuristic film, I went this as pretty mediocre expectations. That this could be good, this could not be good. I've seen that it's about a 90 on Rotten Tomatoes. So I have some expectations that this should be good, but I'm not holding my breath for it. Go see this film.
All right.
Just point blank, this is definitely go see this film. If you like 80s action movies, if you like current sci-fi films, it melds the two really well.
Oh, cool.
It's like I said, the concept is that it's a artificial brain implant that controls that controls our main character, and it's really hilarious because you see just a deadpan face, I don't know what I'm doing, and then just strict moves and clean precision, robotic looking combat, and the camera angles and the audio about it is great and melds well together. It's definitely a treat for the senses, so you know what's happening, how it's happening, without being too lost in the combat.
This sounds like all cool stuff that some other science fiction media that we're enjoying right now involving robots could learn a thing or two from. But we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that one later.
But so it's got a cool vibe to it.
It's got a cool hook. It's really cool because it forces our main character and the AI to work together, and it does the smart thing of making one reliant on the other.
Yeah.
Where if one goes down, the other goes down, or if one's not functioning right, the other doesn't function well. It's a nice meld between the two. This is a well-written script. It does a lot of good things right. The problem is that it's got a lot of no-name actors in it. I feel, because this is Blumhouse, and I'm praising Blumhouse because they're doing a lot of stuff right. They're letting new directors and new writers come in with new concepts, giving them a low budget because they make all that money back on horror films anyways, and letting them have fun. And that's what you get out of this film. It is a fun film. It is a well-written film. It is a smart film. The only thing it doesn't have for it is the star power. I feel like if this thing was anywhere else at a major studio, it would have star Tom Hardy. Because the main character reminded me a lot of Tom Hardy. It's star Tom Hardy. The love interest would be Kate Winslet. And the scientist would be Jared Leto, because that guy reminded me a lot of Jared Leto. And it would have money behind this thing. Everything wouldn't look so muddied. But that muddiness actually helps the film.
Yeah.
It doesn't look clean like a 2049.
Yeah.
Blade Runner. Recent Blade Runner, where that film is cleanly shot, cleanly looked, cleanly lit. Everything about that thing is clean, except for when it takes the sharp left turn, because that's a thematic theme,
Right.
and it does it so well that I don't care. This thing is Upgrade is buried in muddy and darkness, and it works for that kind of world that's trying to build. And there's a lot of good things to say about this film. Definitely check out Upgrade. Don't miss on it. It maybe top 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So we got
I had
a banger
a lot,
this
I had a
week.
lot of fun watching it. There's a lot of good humor scenes. There's a lot of good interaction between the characters. You don't see the twist coming, which is great. And even if you do, you don't care because that ending, the last 10 minutes, helped make that film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. On the Patented Media Boat scale, that gets to see it.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even have to ask you.
No.
Figure that one out.
No, I said that right in the beginning. This is definitely, don't skip on Upgrade. This is probably the best action film of the summer. And yes, I know that there's other big blockbusters. Of course, I'm putting Avengers like off to the side because everyone's seen Avengers by now, so I'm not.
It's like after you've seen Avengers, Upgrade.
Yeah.
To Upgrade.
Yes, get to Upgrade.
All right, cool. All right, that'll do it for movies.
Yep.
Which means we're moving on into television. And we start with sports, as always. Sports, of course, we always begin here. And this week is an interesting week. We still have the finals going on in both hockey and basketball. In fact, basketball finals are literally just happening right now. They just ended Game 3,
yes.
and the Warriors took another one.
Yes.
Putting them 3-0 against the Cavaliers.
Yeah, so it's looking like LeBron will be leaving Cleveland without a... Huh?
Raggeton.
Yeah. Without a championship. Kevin Durant, career playoff high, 43 points.
Yeah.
He's looking like the MVP of last year.
He's my favorite steel bug type.
He is.
Kevin
Durant.
Because I think he's the only steel bug. No, there's probably others.
Yes, I think Sizor is steel.
Steel bug? Yeah, I guess he is
because
right.
he
He's
used
the
a steel
first
plate.
steel bug.
Because he used a steel plate on a scissor.
You're right. Wow. We're
on a scyther.
getting into the weeds there.
Yeah.
Also hockey. The Capitals lead the Knights, but only 3-1. So that's still anyone's series if the Knights can catch up.
Yeah. Most likely, though, they're back in Columbus.
Okay.
So there's Game 5 in Columbus, I believe. It goes 2-2-1-1-1. So they go to Vegas next. They're in Vegas for one game, and then 6th game is going to be where they're going to close it out and win in front of their home crowd.
All right. So we'll see how that goes.
Yep.
Also in horse racing, we're still anticipating the Belmont Stakes is this weekend. That means that the potential Triple Crown winner could be Justify if he wins the third race. So
Justify?
Keep your eyes out for Justify.
Yes. Belmont is this weekend.
Belmont Stakes.
Put your money on the ponies.
Money on the ponies. The Major League Baseball draft has happened.
Yep, and if you are in high school and know anyone who was drafted, congratulations. Because this is also, like all those high school students are graduating right now.
This is true.
Yep, this means they get the choice of either going to play for the pros or accepting their letters of intent to play for college.
And you know they're going to choose the money.
Most of the time they do.
And lastly, the CWS. What's the CWS?
College World Series.
College World Series, men's and women's, begins this weekend. So if your college team, baseball or softball, right?
Yes, both of them.
Has made it to the finals. You
Yes.
can watch them win.
This is the Omaha
Or lose.
Series.
Omaha!
Yes.
Series.
Super Regionals have concluded. They have wrapped up. Which means we're into Omaha season.
I heard that our alma mater almost made it, but was beat by UCLA. And
Yes.
unfortunately couldn't make it to the
So,
finals.
yes, Cal State Fullerton ended up beating
Yeah.
Long Beach to go to the Supers, but
Right.
then lost
We beat,
to the UCLA.
as they say, we beat State,
Yeah.
which is what we always said we wanted to do.
Yes, our rivals.
Beat State.
Yes, the rivals they are.
Yeah. It passed
kind of one-sided, isn't it?
Yeah. I passed Long Beach State the other day in the car.
Yeah.
And I said, those are our rivals. But yeah, so that's happening. Baseball, softball, College World Series. Catch it. Next is, so that's anything you had to add for sports before we move on to television news?
I believe I'm all caught up on sports stuff happening.
All right, then television news. We start our television news with something that's actually not about on television at all. It's a podcast that you can put into your ears. And no, it's not ours. We do also recommend you put our podcast in your ears. But when you're not listening to the Media Boat podcast, you might want to listen to this podcast. If you like The Good Place, and you know we do.
Yes,
it was one of my favorite shows. Actually, I think that was
your number one show
of 2017.
Yes.
There's now a podcast for The Good Place. Episodes of the podcast will include weekly behind-the-scenes stories, episode insights, and anecdotes by the cast and crew. It will be hosted by actor Mark Evan Jackson with a rotating slate of co-hosts to be interviewed about everything on and off the screen. The first episode is up with the creator of the show, Mike Schur, also famous for his production work on other NBC sitcoms like The Office and Parks and Rec.
And Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
And Fox's and now NBC's Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Also worked on The Simpsons for a while.
Yep.
He goes back pretty far in comedy. Episodes of that podcast will go up every Friday, so check it out.
Yep.
I don't need another podcast.
Still boycotting the NBA because, 3-0.
Yeah, that'll happen. Next up is a story about a classic franchise. You like Peanuts?
Yes, but I messed that up.
Were you going to make a joke about not like I like other nuts better or something like that?
No.
Like a macadamia?
No, in the pictures I put the next story up instead.
You messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think I messed up.
Yeah, you messed up.
Yeah.
Because this is the next story. Well, if you like, what I meant was I was hoping you would make a nut joke, but you didn't. What I'm talking about is the comic strip, the classic comic strip, Peanuts. Like Charlie Brown.
Yes.
So Sony Music Entertainment, specifically the music entertainment division of Sony, which is weird about this story.
Well, it's because it's technically Music Entertainment Japan.
Oh, okay.
That's why. That'll make sense in a little bit here.
Yeah, they have made a purchase. They have bought 39% of the Peanuts franchise. So the purchase was for $185 million and goes in part of multiple licensing programs to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Peanuts in Japan.
And this is why Japan made this offer.
Including the opening of a Peanuts hotel in Kobe this summer.
Yeah,
so,
I'm going to see there.
If you're wondering what the other percentages breakdown is, a holding company named DHX Media, who was the previous majority owner, remains the majority owner with a 41% stake, while members of the Schultz family, Charles Schultz being the author of the original comic, owns about 20%. So
and that makes up 100%.
Yeah, there was some news about that happening like about 10 years ago or so. I remember there being a big upset about this holding company buying out the rights from the family before the Schultz family pretty much owned everything, even after Charles Schultz's death. But yeah, this has kind of allowed them to be a little more lenient with what they use marketing-wise. It's why the Peanuts movie happened. Right. Because there was a little bit more leniency with the rights.
Right, and that was from Blue Sky, which is Sony.
That's why I think it's interesting that Sony, when I saw this story on your page here, I was like, oh, Sony finally did it.
Yeah.
Because this allows basically Sony to have a little bit more freedom to make that a franchise now, which maybe they weren't able to do prior. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's interesting.
Right, and I enjoyed the Peanuts film.
Yeah, that Peanuts movie is actually pretty good.
It's
I hadn't seen it, and I watched it, and I was like, they did a pretty good job with the source material there.
Yeah, and I really like the animation style that they did.
It's a neat style.
It's a neat style. It's a unique style, and it definitely works for that kind of brand.
Oh, for sure. Maybe they'll make another one of those. I wouldn't be opposed.
Yep.
Moving on. If you still care, if you're one of the 3 people on the earth that still care about Top Gear, British car racing, car enthusiast show, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Top Gear. If you recall, it was hosted for the last 4 years by Matt LeBlanc.
Yes, we reported on Matt LeBlanc.
We did.
Taking over the hosting duties.
Well, he's not going to be on the show for too much longer. He's going to leave the show after 4 years of being a co-host. He said that despite the show being so much fun, the time commitment and extensive travel took him away from his family and friends more than what he was comfortable with. He will still co-host the upcoming season, but it will be his last, and the show will have to welcome a new co-host in 2019 and beyond.
Yes, this upcoming season will be the 4th. We reported that he was making all this hullabaloo.
Hullabaloo.
Oh, sorry. When he started co-hosting, that was when the original Top Gear guys left. And we reported,
what's his name? And said some stuff, some real stupid stuff.
The Stig.
And got ousted.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, they brought in Matt LeBlanc.
Right.
But that'll be over, so who knows? And also, who cares? Moving on.
It's an international...
some people like it.
Well, a national brand.
Some people like it.
I mean, on the one side, I think it's time for Top Gear to be put to rest.
Yeah, I think so.
On the other hand, if they get the right international star...
Maybe?
All
right, fine. Give me your Top Gear host. Give me your dream Top Gear host.
Jay Leno?
No. I said your dream... Like who you'd actually want to watch.
Oh. No, I don't like ours that much. Marco Andretti.
No.
Oh.
Never mind. This is not fun. Anyways.
Okay, fine. Give me Speed Racer.
No, you're losing me. All right, our last story in television here is a
okay, give me Spider-Man.
COO shakeup. Moving on. Cyma? CYMA.
I left that up to you. I don't know.
Kaima. Zargami.
She's Iranian, so...
After 30 years, she is stepping down as president of the Nickelodeon Group.
Well, no, she worked at Nickelodeon for 30 years.
Yes, after 30 years of being at the company.
Yeah, it may sound like she was CEO for 30 years.
Yeah, she 30 years of being with the company in some sort of way.
Yeah.
Is stepping down as president. Viacom, the parent company, will conduct a search for her replacement and have the COO, Sarah Levy, serve on an interim basis. So, Cyma, she had worked her way up starting in 1985 and became the general manager in 1996 and president in 2006. All 6 Viacom-owned channels have now changed leadership over the past year and a half since the current CEO, Bob Bakish, took his helm in late 2016.
And I think we reported on every single one of them being left.
So yeah, lots of shakeups. I mean, it makes sense. This stuff happens when somebody's at the very, very top calling the shots. Maybe he just doesn't like the numbers he's seeing, or maybe the vibe's not right, and he's just replace these people.
Either that, or they're just trying to push everything in a different direction.
Yeah.
Because she came in right as the lead president, right when they were getting away from a lot of the cartoon aspects and going more into the live action stuff. 2006. And that's also when Dan Snyder started losing a lot of his grip, too.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting to see this direction. Nickelodeon has definitely gone since then. More centered towards teens than kids.
Yeah.
Especially in recent years. Nice throw. But, yeah, maybe the CEO... maybe Viacom wants it to go back to kids.
I mean, whatever it is, we'll probably find out in the next few years here.
Yeah.
Because, Nickelodeon, I think they're losing steam to their competitors right now.
Right.
I don't
Disney
really
XD and Disney...
Yeah, and Cartoon Network and Disney XD are on fire right now.
Yeah.
They're killing it. And Nickelodeon, I don't know.
I think that's probably why she got ousted, too.
Maybe. Maybe the time had come. All right, so let's move on then. That was it for television. Did we have any television thoughts this week? Stuff we've been watching? I tried watching the first episode of the 4th season of The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh, yeah.
I will not be finishing the 4th season of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
So this episode broke you?
It broke me on the show. I am not unbreakable, unlike
Kimmy Schmidt.
No, I can't do it. So this is not going to be your source for Kimmy takes. So move on.
All right.
Anything else we watched?
No, because this is the
Dead Zone.
Dead Zone. Everything is died. Everything is ended.
We officially have entered the summer television season, which means we'll have a lot less thoughts about television than we did in the beginning of the year.
Not only that, but we've also, because we've entered June, we've now started the 2018-20 19th season of television.
Technically, yes. Even though stuff won't begin in earnest until like August and September.
Right, because everything has ended now.
Yeah.
Basically, they're calling in TV
they
years.
Call it a season.
That's what they call
season.
it.
Yeah.
That's the end.
What a season.
And the seasons they are changing.
What a season. All right, let's move on then. If we don't have anything to talk about there, to cancellations and renewals.
All right, cancellations.
Cancellations. We start with a renewal of Tangled the series. That's on Disney Channel. It will be renewed for a third season ahead of its already existing second season premiere that will happen this summer. It will be retitled for its second season, Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure. No reason particularly. Maybe they felt like rebranding. I don't know.
Rapunzel is more the center character, and it's not her and Flynn, if I remember correctly. It's her and someone else.
Well, okay. Well, he was in the show.
Yes, he was in the show.
I don't.
But he
know a whole lot about it, but
yeah,
that I know. All right.
Yeah, that's what I know. That because the main aspect of the show is not Rapunzel and Flynn, that's why they're going away from calling it Tangled.
Even though it's very clearly still based on the movie Tangled.
Yes.
All right, moving on. You also have a second season of The Split coming to Sundance. Yeah, right there. There you saw it right there. The Rain will get a second season on Netflix. 13 Reasons Why will get a further inexplicable season, a third season on Netflix. I don't know why. Maybe somebody should tell me 13 Reasons Why. 13 Reasons Why keeps getting renewed. I
thought everyone died.
That sounds like a BuzzFeed article. 13 Reasons Why. 13 Reasons Why is being renewed.
Yeah.
Shadowhunters on Freeform canceled after 3 seasons.
Boom.
The final batch of Shadowhunters episodes, capped by a 2-part finale, will air next spring. So don't
wait a whole year.
Yet. Just wait some time. You'll see the end of your favorite show, I'm sure.
Yes.
Younger on TV Land has been renewed for a 6th season ahead of its season 5 debut, which happens tomorrow.
And I have no idea what Younger is.
I actually do know what Younger is. It has Sutton Foster in it.
And I'm supposed to know who that is.
Okay, fine. She has a career. Look her up. I know this because a former coworker of mine was obsessed with the show, and she told me how good it was, apparently. Some people really like that show. All right. Also renewed for a third season, 3% on Netflix.
3%.
I wonder what it has on Rotten Tomatoes.
I just got like a 77.
77%?
Yeah.
Missing those 3. You get an 80. Also in cancellations, here's something that got canceled before it's even aired. Paramount says they will no longer air the television reboot of Heathers, based on the 1980s film. It has already been delayed once from a planned spring start when it was already reviewed by critics, the pilot and I believe the second episode. The series will not air on Paramount, though. I've chosen not to go through with it after audience reaction was extremely negative.
So we reported on how Heathers got canceled immediately, or got delayed immediately after the Parkland shooting.
Right.
Because that's what Heathers is about.
They made some really questionable choices about how they were going to plot that show.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of glad it's not happening. Here's the catch, though. They are still shopping this around other networks, so there's a slim chance that somebody else picks this up, but chances are the waters are already muddied.
Yeah.
I really doubt it. I think the word of mouth is so negative, I say that we just write this off. This is not going to happen.
This is a loss. This is a negative.
Yeah.
Just, we tried something and didn't work. Moving on. Learn and live. Live and learn.
Speaking of moving on, Imposters gets to move on because it has been canceled on Bravo after 2 seasons.
Bravo.
And then Legion on FX, that's the Psychic Powers X-Men spinoff show.
Yep.
Renewed for a 3rd season.
Really?
Yes, it's back.
Okay.
For another one.
I mean, I know the ratings have dipped on that thing.
Yeah. Does anybody care?
I guess it's on FX, so no.
Yeah. No ratings can dip that low.
Yeah.
That's it for cancellations, renewals. We move on to deaths. We have a few deaths. Some very sad ones here. First up, Jerry Marin, aged 98, the last surviving Munchkin from The Wizard of Oz, has died.
It's
no
always
more living Munchkins.
yes. Whenever, for some reason, like Death of the Munchkins is always a thing in Hollywood.
Because there weren't that many left, and now there's none. It's sad.
Yeah.
Michael Ford, age 90, he was the set director on Titanic and Empire Strikes Back. So
those are two pretty good movies.
Pretty crazy set direction on both those movies. So
yeah.
good for Michael Ford. Lived a good life there.
Yeah, a lot of miniature scale, 2-scale models.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last one, which made some ripples in the fashion world. Kate Spade, fashion designer, famous for her designer bags, has died at age 55 of apparent suicide.
Yes. Housekeepers found her in her New York apartment, and yeah.
Yeah, bad stuff. That's young. I mean, yeah, this is the bit where we say that suicide hotline. If you know the number, I don't know about it. But
even if you're successful, I mean, this happens to anyone.
It's a serious issue. Go get help. Help your friends get help. Friends and family. Support people who have mental illnesses. You never know when somebody needs it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's get out of the depressing part.
Even more depressing, though.
Oh, no.
Do we have any info as to when the next Project Runway season is coming out?
I would love to know that.
And then Kate Spade crying emoji, crying emoji, crying emoji.
It's so sad. But no, we don't know anything about Project Runway. We don't get Lifetime, unfortunately, here, so yes. I can't tell you. I haven't seen anything about the new season, but if I can, I will watch it.
Yes, but yeah, I think I bought my sister-in-law Kate Spade bag for her graduation.
Aww.
I didn't know who Kate Spade was. I just thought the bag was cool.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, after showing it, she's like, "Oh, Kate Spade! It's a great bag." Like,
yeah, people love Kate Spade.
I don't know. I like the design, so if you're able to get me with that design, I mean, you get women with it too.
Alrighty, so that brings us out of deaths into music. With opposite of death.
The Billboards.
We start with the Billboard charts. A little bit of a change up here. Your singles, less so. Your number one single again is Nice for What by Drake, moving back up to the top. Psycho by Post Malone featuring Ty Dolla $ign moves back up to number 2. Number 3 is God's Plan by Drake. This Is America by Childish Gambino tumbles to number 4. And number 5 is The Middle with Zedd, Mary Morris, and Gray. Your album chart, your number 1 album in the country, debuting at number 1 this week, Shawn Mendes with his self-titled Shawn Mendes.
Really?
Yes, your number 1 album.
Huh.
Number 2, dropping to number 2 this week, Beer Bongs and Bentleys by Post Malone. Daytona by Pusha T enters the top 5 at number 3. Testing with A$AP Rocky is your number 4. And Invasion of Privacy by Cardi B rounds out your top 5 albums.
Well, we'll talk about Cardi B later.
That is your Billboard charts. Moving on to upcoming releases. This is a killer Friday, guys. Get ready. First up, Dave Matthews Band with Come Tomorrow.
Yes, that Dave Matthews Band.
Dierks Bentley with The Mountain.
I'll be listening to Dierks Bentley.
Gruff Reese with Babelsberg. Kids See Ghosts, which is the Kanye West Kid Cudi self-title. I believe it's also titled Kids See Ghosts.
Well, I just saw it to be announced. Album. I saw it to be announced.
Okay.
Unknown if there will be a title for it just be
I think
Kids
it's
See Ghosts.
just named Kids See Ghosts.
Yes.
But yeah, that will be Friday as well. Lily Allen with No Shame. Licky Lee with So Sad, So Sexy. Sugarland with their comeback album Bigger. And the Get Up Kids with Kicker. Also, Snail Mail's Lush comes out this week. That's my album pick of the week.
Sure.
So check that out. Stereo Gum put out their 50 best albums of the year so far that they do annually today.
Yeah.
That Snail Mail album is number frickin' 3, and it's not even out yet.
Really?
Yes. Apparently it's that good. Beach House. The Beach House's 7 was their number 1, and Casey Musgrave's Golden Hour, number 2.
Really?
I was so happy with that top
good.
3. I was elated. Anyways, I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, people love that Casey Musgraves album.
Yeah,
still.
they do.
That's going to be on my top 5, I know that.
Might be our number 1.
Yeah, collectively, probably. Let's call that now. Our collective number 1 is probably Casey Musgraves at the end of the year. But that's not until December, so...
Yes, so you have plenty of time to get music out for us to change our mind.
Right? We're talking to you, Kanye West. No, we're not talking about you. All right, let's move on to music news. Our first story is about Lando Calrissian. I mean, it's about
Donald Glover.
No, it's about Childish Gambino.
Yes. You know, all in the same.
So This Is America, I just referenced, is in the top 5 of the Billboard charts, and it's also a huge streaming hit. According to the Recording Industry Association of America, the RIAA, This Is America has been certified platinum, recognizing 1 million equivalent song units earned in the U.S. One song unit, by the way, as recognized by the RIAA, is equal to 1 digital song sale, or 150 equivalent on-demand audio or video streams. So for every 150 times somebody listens on Spotify or YouTube, that equals 1 sale.
Right. But
according to these guys.
Right, but you do realize that we're not talking like thousands of plays. We're talking like millions of plays.
So it adds up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good for Donald.
Yeah.
He's killing it out there, making some hit songs.
Yeah. Platinum is no small feat.
No, definitely not.
Now,
some,
when he goes
some artists don't go platinum until 20 years after the album comes out. As we covered that Weezer Pinkerton.
Yes.
Didn't get it until 20 years later. Moving on to another band that I don't think they have a platinum album. The Gorillaz. Along with 2 new tracks, the Gorillaz have announced their new record, The Now Now, which is due June 29th, the end of the month. They also announced a tour and confirmed that their Demon Days festival, that happened last year, I believe, will return for a second year, starting in October 20th in LA. So if you like the Gorillaz, go check that out.
They're back.
Also note they have a new digital member?
Yes.
I read about this.
They have a new digital member,
yes.
And apparently this upcoming album will not be as feature-heavy as their last one.
Okay.
Whereas their last one featured like
a lot of
17 different
right.
featured artists.
Yes.
This one only has 3.
Huh.
One of them is Snoop Dogg.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sure.
Weird. Snoop Dogg and the Gorillaz on a song.
So if you like Gorillaz, go check that out. If you like Cardi B, well, she's dealing with some stuff. She is suing her former manager named Clinard Raphael.
Why are you saying she has problems?
Clinard Raphael. I've heard that. Because she took advantage of her. Because he took advantage of her being uneducated in the music business and allegedly ripped her off. Clinard Shaft Raphael.
Yes.
His nickname, I'm guessing.
Gave her the shaft.
Sued Cardi B for $10 million, claiming she breached their contract by ditching him as her manager. She says he breached their deal by failing to provide monthly accounting, also failed to appoint an independent business manager, and also didn't provide her with adequate payments that were owed. She says that despite him having a duty to act in her best interests, he took advantage of her trust and naivete and persuaded her to sign contracts and to enter into deals in which Mr. Raphael attempted to take an unreasonable and unconscionable portion of her earnings in the entertainment industry for himself.
Right.
So that's a really long way of saying he took money from places he
countersued. So this is a countersuit.
Yeah.
The manager sued her because she left, and now she's suing back.
Basically, like, you ripped me off. I didn't get as much money as I was supposed to, and you made me sign stuff that I didn't want.
Here's how he did it, though.
Okay.
So she has a deal with a middle company who has a deal with Atlantic Records. Guess who owns that middle company?
I don't know. You tell me.
It's the manager.
This guy.
It's this guy. So whenever Cardi B had any deal, it would not go straight to her, but to that separate label, which she would then get that percentage of that. And that's where she says that, wait, no, if we're together and you're my manager, it should just go between the 3 of us, not the separate company. You're taking more than your fair share.
Yeah.
And there's also other stuff, too. Contracts and unnecessary waivers and extra stuff. It's,
financial disaster, it sounds like. So we'll figure out what happens with that.
Yeah.
We'll be following that story.
It sounds like someone saw Cardi B has the golden ticket.
Yep.
And
wants a piece of it.
Took more, yeah.
All right, let's move on into another famous singer here, Dave Grohl, who, of course, of Foo Fighters fame. he had an abandoned project that was supposed to be with David Bowie before Bowie's death. Bowie wasn't on board with this project. He had denied Dave Grohl of this because he just didn't think the film project and saw music, whatever the whole multimedia experience was, interested. He didn't want to do it. He was like, this isn't for me. But the project still exists, and Dave Grohl plans on working with a mystery band to bring it back to life. He doesn't want to spoil the surprise of which band got that song, but he says it should be revealed soon. Okay, what band?
What band?
You're going to say Linkin Park, aren't you?
No.
No?
I'll say with
Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl,
But that would have pulled off something that was intended for Bowie.
Well, yeah. So the way this thing is worked is that Dave Grohl was commissioned to do a song for a movie,
right?
Or just in general a movie song. So he wanted Bowie to sing it while he did basically everything else.
So Bowie said no.
Yeah, he didn't agree with whatever film it was going to be with, so he said no.
Okay. I think I might have an idea of what this might be.
What?
Do you think this is the next Bond theme?
Ooh.
I just had that thought. It's like, this sounds like a Bond theme, right? Like, what movies commission songs? The Bond movies do. What if they were called up
Dave Grohl
a while back, like a long time ago, and he was trying to get David Bowie to work with them. Dave Bowie was like, I don't want to do a James Bond theme.
For Casino Royale?
Maybe, or something, at some point. But then, what band, though, then?
What band would do a
James Bond theme?
A James Bond theme?
Which band would you want to do a James Bond theme?
It's gotta be British.
Ew, I hope it's not Muse.
I hope it's not Arctic Monkeys.
Ugh, no and no.
No and no.
Coldplay, no.
No. We already had Adele.
Yeah, that's not a band either.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're spending too much time on this. Well, whatever.
The 1975.
We'll find. Oh, no. We'll find out soon.
Arcade Fire. Actually, Arcade Fire.
Yeah, they're not British, but yes.
No,
that would be neat. I could see them doing it.
Yeah.
Kind of wish they had done that years ago instead of now. All right, let's move on. So that's it for music news. We have a couple of.
Yeah. Of course, we're not confirming.
Yeah, we're not confirming anything. This is just all assumptions. But yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows who the mystery band is? We'll find out soon.
Who knows what the mystery song is either. It'll be reworked with the band and commissioned for a different film.
Yeah, probably. All right, so that wraps that up. So that's it for news. Let's go into some thoughts. Did you listen to any music this weekend? Because I sure as hell did.
I was supposed to listen to the new Kanye stuff.
Well, I took that bullet for you.
Why do you say that?
All right, so to back up a little bit,
all right, let's back up.
We need to explain some things that happened after we recorded. So after we recorded our last week's as we left it on last week's podcast, we didn't know, one, whether Kanye was even releasing an album on Friday,
yes,
and two, what it was going to be called. About a day later, all we knew is that he was going to do some event in Wyoming where he was going to do a live stream. In fact, we may not have even known that at that point.
I don't think we knew that at that point.
That may have been Thursday news. But yeah, so Kanye ended up doing an event in Wyoming, in Jackson Hole, for his friends, in which he basically played his new album in its entirety, all 7 tracks, to the crowd, and the crowd danced to it. And there was a live stream you could watch. Well, I watched that live stream. I listened to that album. And then I listened to it again on Spotify the day after.
So it's good. You listened to it 3 times.
It's not good.
But you listened to it 3 times.
Yeah, because I was trying to figure out what the hell he was doing. So this is Kanye West's mental health album. This is basically him making a statement about, this is where I'm at, these are the kind of things I'm thinking about right now, and I got some of my friends to help me out with it. So it has not 1, but 2 Kid Cudi choruses.
Okay.
It has, God, it has such weird cameos. It has apparently a chorus that may or may not have been written by Drake in one of the songs. And yeah, it has a song at the end that is about him being a father of his daughter and him being worried that his daughter is going to grow up, because every rapper has to make one of those at some point.
So
Jay-Z did. Eminem did. Kanye's just checking that box. Yeah, it's not great. It's there's some interesting beats on this thing. There's some terrible punchlines. There's one about something about taking a chip Frito-Lay, which is really bad. And oh god, there's one that's something about making a comeback or something like that, and then he says something about everybody is here because of cum or something like that. Just like, oh god, Kanye, why? So he's got some real stinkers. There's one song that's actually pretty good towards the end of the record, but for the most part, it is 25 minutes that you will want back immediately. It's not like gratingly bad. It's just it's disappointing for Kanye, because this is the first time that he's put out something that hasn't like been like a big deal.
Like Life of Pablo?
Yeah. Like, well, I mean, even that was like a more of a muted thing, but it was still pretty good. There's a lot of good songs on that thing. It was just overly long and really bloated in some places. This doesn't have that problem. It's too short, and there's not enough good stuff on it. So, yeah. And no, Too Short is not on this record.
Oh.
Sorry. So, yeah, it's called Ye, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Y-E.
Yeah.
It does have a name.
Weird. It's Ye.
Ye. But yeah, you could probably skip it. It's on streaming services now, so you don't have to go through the title rigmarole.
It's not title exclusive?
No, you don't have to go through all that crap like you did for Pablo. This is available for everybody. Everybody can listen to it. There's no scoop-de poop, in case you were wondering.
Wait,
no poop-de scoop.
Where did that go?
Lift Yourself is not on the album, so no poop-de scoop. Not a single mention of poop-de scoop. Unlike that one mention on the Pusha T album last week. There's no poop-de scoop on this record.
Then what's the point of putting it out?
I don't know. I can't answer that. But no, this is real collection of real Kanye West songs. They're just not great. So that's out in the world. So go test those waters if you really want to. But here's me basically telling you to save your time. Okay. You could in fact use your time for something slightly better, but still, And that would be the Father John Misty record that came out this week. God's Favorite Customer. It's fine. It's a Father John Misty album, so if you like him, you know what you're getting. It's kind of big orchestral music, a lot of strings, a lush production, and Father John Misty basically talking about himself the whole time. It's not as navel gazing as the last record, last year's Pure Comedy. In that album was him very like talking about the issues of the world and stuff. This is not that. This is him talking about himself and his like relationships. Apparently, the theory, he never confirmed any of this, but the theory is that something went sour with his marriage, and this is a record that he wrote in a hotel room by himself in kind of the post of that
post-sadness.
It says breakup record, you could call it. And so there's some interesting stuff there, but it's not it's not as long as albums he's done in the past, but it still feels a little drawn out because that's just his style. It's a very specific thing. If you know you like his kind of thing, then you'll probably like this. It is good for a Father John Misty record. He just doesn't resonate with me at this point. So yeah, I don't know. Check that out if that sounds interesting. I also listened to, this is not on the list, but I also listened to the new Nico Case record, Hell On. It's good. She's still good. She can still write a song. So if you like her, check that out. It's there's some really good hooks in that thing. And that's what I listened to. So
yeah, I didn't listen to any new music.
No
I'm
music.
slacking on that. That's not my
That's my department.
That's not my Will Forte. It's not my Matt Forte.
Matt Forte. Whatever Forte you want. Alright, so that means let's move off of music and into
Forte Knox.
Video games. And this is a big week for video games, as this is the last podcast we will record before E3.
Yes, the Electronic Entertainment Expo that happens in LA.
It's the big video game expo that will be all about. So next week will be our E3 blowout, so get ready for an extra long video game segment next week.
Yeah.
Because we'll have a lot to talk about. But for this week, let's start with our new releases for the week. We have, finally, the Kickstarted game lives. Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn, the sequel to the Super NES and Genesis game Shaq Fu.
Yes,
will come out to Switch and PlayStation 4.
Yes, that's out now. So get your hands on some Shaq Fu.
Yeah, please.
Apparently, there is a DLC where you can play as President Obama.
What?
And you can beat up Kanye West.
Wow, this is bizarre.
Yeah.
All right. It's going to be real popular this year. All right. Next up, Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. If you want a crazy anime fighter, here it is.
Yes.
Coming to Switch and PS4. Vampire, which is notable. That is the Don't Nod. That is the Life is Strange, the first Life is Strange people.
Right.
That is their new game. That is out on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Apparently, that has really good reviews.
Yeah,
so
people are loving
it.
We might actually want to take a look at Vampire. And MotoGP 18 gets its annual release on PlayStation 4. Moving into video game news. Our first story in video game news is a sad one for Guitar Hero fans.
You know, if you're still playing Guitar Hero.
So Guitar Hero Live was a game that came out a few years ago. Its whole hook was that it would you would be able to play streaming music videos. To play alongside streaming music videos. The songs that you could choose from would change routinely. It wouldn't be something you bought. You would basically pay to have access to this changing library, this jukebox of changing Guitar Hero songs. Well, no longer. Guitar Hero Live will be no longer available to play. It will be cut off as of December 1st, 2018. The servers will be shut down, but the console version of the GH Live mode will continue to operate just as usual. As of June 1st, Guitar Hero Live for the iOS will no longer be able to even download it via the App Store. But if you already own the app, you can continue to use the service. Additionally, all in-game purchases, so that subscription I was referring to, will be turned off starting on June 1st. So if you have money in there, it's already too late.
Yes.
You cannot buy anything through Guitar Hero Live anymore.
Right. Nor can you renew your subscription.
Yeah.
So
it's done.
When it runs out, it will run out. Whether you got it renewed right before,
right,
or your
time ago,
next month it's gonna run out,
right?
Or whatever.
So the Rock Band guys on Twitter actually were very quick to post little things like, "Hey, for all you people sad about Guitar Hero, come over here. We have a bundle that automatically nets you 100 bonus songs because they've been racking up all these free songs through Rivals. So they're like, hey, if you want songs now, you don't have to spend a lot of money on it. Just buy the existing Rock Band 4 and Rivals bundle, and you get a lot of songs.
Okay.
So yeah,
100 songs is a lot.
Yeah, actually on top of what's on the disc already, that's 150 something songs. So
yeah.
So yeah, those of you who are lapsed music fans, that's an option. All right, let's move on to our next story. We're coming back to Epic Games, but this one isn't about that what do you call it? The lawsuit from last week. I couldn't think of the word lawsuit for some reason.
The Fortnite thing.
This is something else. Interactive Gaming Ventures has joined forces with Epic Games to identify independent game developers creating promising titles using the Unreal Engine 4, which Epic, of course, owns, and invest in their products. Former PlayStation CEO Jack Tretton, I remember Jack Tretton, plans to invest between $1 million to $5 million per project over the next 7 years. When a studio takes on this investment, they maintain control of their own IP and creation process. That's nice.
Yep.
With IGV funding the milestone deliverables, managing promotion, and managing the distribution of the game. So they do the hard stuff, and the actual developers here get to maintain the power.
The only caveat is you have to use Unreal Engine 4, which is a pretty common
used
build. Yeah, engine.
It's pretty much that.
It's that Frostbite, which is EA exclusive still, I think.
Yeah. It's a major player in that kind of scene, so major player. So,
yeah. A lot of games actually use Unreal Engine 4. You don't notice it, but on the bottom logo corner, you see just a U4.
Yeah. Sure. That's something else. So yeah, cool. That's a really cool thing they're doing with Epic. So I look forward to see the results of that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see new games come out. I mean, I want a new orange box. I know that's
right.
I know that's not happening, and that's also not them. That's Valve. But that's actually how Portal started. It was just a development thing that grew, that they started just to play with.
That is true.
So hopefully we'll get new interesting games out of this thing.
Maybe. But there are, all speaking of new interesting games, so as I mentioned at the top of this segment, E3 is coming next week. So this is when we do our annual E3 predictions.
Yes.
So we're going to try to be quick with this. We don't want to go too long here. But let's go down the list here. So first up, is this in chronological order of when the
I believe so.
So E3 is usually divided into press conferences. Each of the major platform holders have a press conference, along as some of the major publishers. So first up, we have Microsoft. What do you think they're going to show off for the Xbox One?
Crackdown 3. They've been hyping this up. They've been cheesing it. It's got to come.
Funny that you say that. Literally an hour before we podcasted, Kotaku broke a story that sources told them that Crackdown will be delayed yet again into 2019. So it may or may not be on the show.
But
so we'll see.
But it was delayed last year.
It's supposed to be done.
It was supposed to be. They premiered this thing like 3 years ago. What is it? The Kingdom Hearts of Microsoft?
Right. However, one thing that is confirmed to be on the Microsoft stage is Forza Horizon. The next installment in the Forza Horizon series will make its debut. So
yes, Forza is a staple of Microsoft. There's no reason they shouldn't have this up there.
Yeah.
Even if it's in a little blip saying, hey, this is coming. It's our annual installment.
Yeah.
It's time. Get back to Forza.
Yeah. So, but besides that, though, the thing about Microsoft is the same thing it was last year, which is we don't know what the hell they're going to have.
It's also, where the hell are the exclusives?
So, here's my bet. Here's my prediction. I think we'll see a Halo. It's been long enough. I think that the next Halo has got to be what they show off. So, Halo 6, I think that this is the year. They have to at least show it. Whether they show gameplay or not, I don't know. We see a logo and we have an announcement.
It's funny. It's funny you bring this up because Bungie earlier this week wasn't in our news, but almost was. Bungie made a deal with a third-party studio to create a new game.
Well,
whether it's an existing IP
but that has
or new,
nothing to do with this because Bungie doesn't make Halo anymore.
I know, but I still associate Bungie with
that's
Halo.
Fair. But no, 313, I think is the studio that makes Halo now. Yeah, they are now responsible, and so I could see it's been long enough.
Because Bungie made Destiny, so
I think it's been long enough for Halo. I think there will be a Halo on the Microsoft stage, and that will be their big reveal. And I think the real twist is if they put it out at the end of this year.
No, if they're gonna do Halo, they're gonna do that Halo series. Remember we talked about that with DreamWorks?
No. This is not where they announced that.
I believe this is where they announced it.
No, they got out of doing anything not related to video games after the disaster that was the first two Xbox One conferences.
Okay.
They focused so much on the TV and multimedia stuff that people hated it, and Sony kicked their ass so hard that they completely dropped all of those. Sony did too.
Yeah.
Neither of them. They just show games now because they know better. So no. But I think a Halo game, I think it's been long enough. As for anything else, I have no clue. Maybe some expansions to Sea of Thieves?
Yeah, that is their new game that hit
We'll probably see that Tomb Raider game
Tomb Raider will be timed
stage.
Exclusive.
But as for that...
Madden and all EA stuff will still be shown on Microsoft.
Maybe more stuff for their version of PUBG. They still are the only console with a version of PUBG.
That they'll probably do that. Yeah, I could probably see that.
But I don't know. I don't know what else.
But that's the thing, though, that a lot of those are cross multi-platform.
Right, and that's kind of Microsoft's story for the last 3 years.
Actually, that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
It just hit. No, they're gonna pump up the cross-play because that's what they want.
They really want to.
They really want the cross-play.
Push that. So yeah, that's possible.
It's either that, or do you think we see any hint of that VR thing that they were working on?
Well, what ended up happening with that thing, the HoloLens?
Yes.
That ended up being kind of wrapped up into a bigger project at Microsoft, where it's basically they have one device that does everything, VR and AR. It's like this combination device. So maybe they'll talk about that being used in a game capacity on Xbox One. but that's as far as that goes. I don't think that's on the E3 stage anymore.
You don't think they show it like that device?
They might show some games and maybe show that device if they announce its compatibility with Xbox One. But as far as I know, that thing is a PC thing.
What if they made some sort of deal with HTC Vive where the Xbox will be compatible?
Could happen. It. But you have to keep in mind that even as powerful as the Xbox One X is, it is still probably not powerful enough to run a PC VR headset.
But if it's the most powerful console out there,
you would think,
and it's more powerful than the PS4 Pro, which runs PlayStation VR,
that wouldn't you? You would think that, but that's not true. It's not that powerful.
I'm trying to connect some dots here, man.
I know you're trying, but it's not gonna happen. Bets are off on Microsoft. They're another wild card here, so we'll see.
I think they showed that controller thing that was introduced like a month ago.
Maybe, but maybe briefly.
Yeah,
like
give it a 5-minute
in the opening developer montage where they're talking to people. Maybe that's when they'll Microsoft's really innovating in the field of adaptive controller technology. Their new accessible controller will be great for.
We already mentioned this.
That's what I'm saying. Clap for it and then move on. Yeah. That's as much a play it'll get. All right. I've seen a lot of these E3 press conferences in my time, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Moving on to Sony. So Sony will be the following day, Sunday, I believe.
Yeah, I believe that Bethesda GameStop go before.
Yeah, but we'll get there.
We'll get there.
But Sony will probably have Last of Us 2.
Yes.
That is slated because that is coming up pretty soon here. That's next year.
Last we heard game was 80 to 90% done. And that was 3 months ago or so.
So yeah, we'll definitely get Last of Us 2, which I'm excited to see what's come out of that.
Possible time frame of release.
Maybe we'll get release date. We'll also probably see that Spyro the Dragon collection that we talked about here before.
We probably will. There was an 18-second fresh teaser released yesterday. So that will probably just go right into the at least announcement of, I think we already have a date for it too.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for it to not be there to say, hey, just like Crash, we have Spyro.
I will definitely guarantee some gameplay of the Spider-Man, Insomniac Spider-Man game that comes out in September, because it comes out in September. Yes. That has to be playable, so we'll probably see a walkthrough of that.
Yes. If not, there'll definitely be a playable version on the floor.
Yeah, it'll be playable on the floor.
They've shown 2 different trailers for that at 2 different E3s.
Yeah.
The announcement trailer,
it's
got to be
getting close to be done. So
that's got to be here now.
Yeah. Days Gone, which is their other zombie game, may get play here because it is a first-party game, but with Last of Us and this game, it's going to be really zombie heavy. They have very similar vibes, which was why I heard there was a rumor that the reason why they played so much of it on the show floor last year is because something for Last of Us fell through. Naughty Dog wasn't done with their playable segment yet, and so basically they're the Days Gone guys are well, let's show our game. The idea is that Sony is having an internal struggle about which one to promote because they're so totally similar.
Right.
So that'll be interesting to see if they're both in the show this year. That one, it looks like it has a little bit more focus on co-op play, which differentiates it a bit.
Right. Well, for me, Days Gone looks and feels very similar to Xbox's State of Decay.
Yeah, no, they're actually very different.
Which is very different games.
No, Days Gone is more of a narrative kind of thing, like Last of Us. Right. State of Decay is more like a Systems-y game, where you're maintaining a zombie pace and stuff. It's a completely different thing.
Right.
Then they have the special deal with Activision about Call of Duty. So Black Ops 4 will be on their stage. Get ready for a whole thing about Black Ops exclusive maps and stuff. As for anything else, I'm not sure.
Do you think they make any mention of the PS
Vita? No, Vita's probably done.
They announced the Vita was dead.
Yeah.
Do you think
they announced they weren't manufacturing Vita cards anymore. That does not mean that the Vita was being stopped. They have not even ceased production of the Vita itself.
I think they'll mention that, though, even though they stopped production.
I don't know if that's even something you mention on a show, like in a conference. You probably, if there is anything on Vita, it'll be a quick, like, when they're showing, like, the slides of a bunch of games in a row, there'll be probably one that's on both, on PS4 and Vita, and that's the only time you'll hear Vita.
I bet they do something about PlayStation TV.
Wait, PlayStation TV or PlayStation View?
PlayStation View.
Those are two different things. PlayStation TV, it was a set-top box that played Vita games.
Yeah. PlayStation View.
I know, I wish that they were reversed.
Yes.
No, I don't think they'll say anything. If they mention anything about PlayStation View, it'll be like,
and we've
have this many subscription. Yes.
Yeah.
That's when they mention PlayStation View.
And we're growing. We have markets everywhere. Yeah. And we have this new feature coming in a patch soon.
But probably not as much as they would have 10 years ago, because that used to be all press conferences were. It used to be basically CEOs standing in front of charts and be like, our sales, we have a sell-through rate.
Oh, no, that's not E3. That's not E3.
That used to be. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
100%. That was every press conference. Now it's not that. Now it's trailer, person talking for 3 seconds.
It's hype.
Yeah. So yeah, no, they won't talk about it too much. Who knows what else Sony has? Maybe Kingdom Hearts.
I want to say they'll do Kingdom Hearts, even though
briefly, because Square will have their own thing. But
I think they'll do that, where they'll show Kingdom Hearts
because Sony is first, though.
Before Square, I think that they'll show it. Yeah. They'll show the new trailer, then say we have more.
At Square.
At Square's.
Because
Ubisoft does that all the time.
Yes.
And that's what's going to happen here.
Yep. You're probably right.
One company we haven't talked about is Activision.
No, because they never have any representation on by themselves at E3. They are not an active member of the group, so they do not participate. That's why they have their shows on other people's. They have their games on other people's shows.
I know, but I don't know what's coming up for Activision. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know, and we won't know because they're not at E3. They do their own events.
The Division 2?
That is Ubi.
That's Ubi?
Yeah.
I thought that was...
The Division is a Ubisoft game.
Okay.
So we'll get there.
All
right. In fact, next up is Ubisoft. So let's talk about Ubisoft. So they'll have Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the recently announced / leaked Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yes.
So we'll learn more about that. They will have Division 2, as you just mentioned.
Right.
There's a rumor about a new Splinter Cell game. That has not been confirmed. There's some rumblings about it, but it seems all but confirmed. So probably will be on the show.
I could see it being on the show.
Yeah. They'll have to show something about Wild, that game they teased last year, which seemed bizarre. And
more rabbits?
Maybe something with rabbits, and maybe a sequel to Mario and Rabbids. I could see that.
A sequel already? That came out last year?
No, that was last year. It's been a bit. They'll announce it and then it'll come out next year. That's my guess.
Or they'll say DLC or something.
That might be a little too late.
Maybe. Well, it's Nintendo. Nintendo doesn't really do DLC.
But the real question mark here: do they mention Beyond Good and Evil 2 again?
Oh.
Remember that? We actually saw stuff. They actually showed stuff about that game last year.
Yeah. So
it's very in the realm of possibility that they could show whatever they've been working on. So we'll see.
I think so. It's been a year.
So that's basically Ubi. Maybe a hint at a Watch Dogs 3.
There was the drops for it around in April.
So it could happen.
So it very well could happen for a Watch Dogs 3.
Yeah.
Or a Watch Dogs something. It is one of their bigger games.
Yeah, it's about time too. Square is next. Square Enix is not just the developer; they are also a publisher. So you'll see Square develop stuff like a Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yep.
And you'll see Square publish stuff as well, like Tomb Raider. New Tomb Raider will probably be there.
I bet they'll mention something about the film as well.
Mm-hmm.
Probably how well Alicia Vikander was.
Maybe she'll show up.
Maybe she'll show up.
Maybe they'll bring her on stage to introduce the game.
Raider.
That'd be smart.
That'd be good.
But other than that, Square's another question mark for me. I don't know a whole lot of the stuff that they publish these days. So.
A lot of it is Japanese-related RPGs.
They don't have... Oh, they'll probably show more of that Octopath Traveler game on Switch.
Yes.
That'll probably be there.
I've been seeing a lot of updates to that.
Yeah.
Especially in just news articles.
Yeah.
So that's got to be there. They're not. What are they? I'm trying to think of the JRPG that they do.
Yeah, they do a lot, but
yeah,
I don't know what's on their next
it's not
rotation.
Monster Hunter, right?
No, Monster Hunter.
That's Capcom.
That's a Capcom.
That's Capcom
joint.
I'm blanking on what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Because let's move on to Bethesda. Bethesda has some hot ones. Fallout 76, which we can now confirm, sort of, from last week, is a game. It will be a multiplayer online thing. Seems like sources say that it's going to be a survival type base building kind of thing. So don't get too excited if you want a real Fallout game. Like I said last week, apparently that all I said was probably true. And it will not be that kind of game. It will have some sort of story and maybe some sort of quests, but it will not be about that, really. It's a different kind of game.
Yep.
Then lastly, then they also have Rage 2. That's been confirmed. The Avalanche guys are working on that. Mm-hmm. They're the team between the original Just Cause games and Mad Max, which you recently played through.
Yes, I beat that for the most part. There's a couple trophies left on that, but Mad Max was a weird game.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
It's an open world, but it's also very procedural.
Yeah.
And depressing.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So yeah, that'll be on their stage. There's also a unfounded rumor going around about there being some sort of science fiction game that they've been working on for a while. Yeah. Whether that's an MMO or a Bethesda style RPG, no one knows.
It's an untitled, unsure game that everyone is kind of positive they're going to debut something new, a new IP.
Yeah.
What it's going to be is uncertain. What it's going to be about, anything about it is uncertain. They just have a strong confidence in them that something new from Bethesda, because it's Bethesda, and they've talked enough to people to tease it. So if they're going to show it anywhere, this is going to be the place to show it.
We will definitely see.
Even if it's just a trailer, even if it doesn't come out for another 2 years or a year and a half, they're going to at least announce something.
Yeah. We'll find out, I guess.
Yeah.
Then lastly, Nintendo.
The Treehouse.
So, they will likely make a big deal out of their most recent release, which will be, as of next weekend, Mario Tennis Aces. They'll probably just kind of wrap that up and be like, hey, this is out. You can play this now.
Yeah.
That's their big week of E3 release. But they'll also probably have a bunch of other stuff to talk about.
So we're going to see Pokemon. They already basically confirmed a new Pokemon something. Everyone is saying it's a Switch proper console version.
Yeah.
Of a, what do they call them? Proper sequel, title, generation?
So there's a lot going on in what you're saying. So first of all, yes, they will probably show more stuff about Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, the Pokemon games remakes that were announced about a week ago. So that will be probably there in some capacity. Yes, the question then is whether they even say anything about the proper Switch Pokemon game, which is due out next year, end of 2019. Chances are they probably won't. I think it's too early. I think they'll make a separate Nintendo Pokemon Direct sometime maybe early next year or late this year, where they'll talk about titles and release. I think it's too early. They're going to want to focus on the first Switch game and not talk about the one we actually want.
Okay, well, I know one thing they will definitely be talking about. Smash.
Yes,
Brothers.
This will be their Smash Brothers E3. It has to be, because they said it's out this year.
Yes.
So if they'll make a huge deal out of Smash, we'll know whether it's a new game, we'll know whether it's just a port of the last one. I was trying to think of a subtitle, and then I remembered it didn't have one. This one should. I hope it's not just Super Smash Brothers Switch, even though I do like the alliteration there.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever it ends up being, that's going to be their focus. That's going to be their big game for the show. Unless they have something even crazier stored, which they may.
They just came out with the new Donkey Kong game. They just came out, last year was Mario.
I could see
Mario
them
DLC.
I could see them doing a proper expansion to Mario like they did with Zelda.
Yeah.
You know, the Guardians thing they did with Zelda.
Did they do a second season for Zelda?
I mean, they could do more stuff with Zelda, but I think that, I think this is Mario's turn.
Yeah.
I think they do a level pack of sorts for Odyssey. And
Okay.
they give you a bunch more moons to find. I think that would be really smart.
More skins.
Yeah, more stuff for Mario to wear, more stuff to do in that game. I think that would be really, really cool of them. They'll probably talk more about Bayonetta 3.
Yes, that's still not out yet.
They'll have to be on the show. The
Yes.
first and second games were out on Switch already, so
Right, the remaster.
yeah, just a matter of time until we know more about 3. We'll also know more about that No More Heroes Switch game.
Right, that
they revealed.
sequel.
So we'll probably see that on their show too.
Right. Do you think they mentioned or they bring up the 3DS?
Yes, because they'll probably show a little bit more footage of WarioWare Gold, which is their big 3DS game this year, which will be a collection of the WarioWare mini games, which I'm looking forward to. There may also be some other 3DS stuff we don't know about.
New Mega Man, or they had Mega Man Anniversary stuff come out a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that stuff's already done, but Mega Man 11 was recently shown. Capcom recently showed that off. It's kind of a new style for Mega Man that may be in the Treehouse stream and the form of a Switch montage or something.
All right, how much Reggie do we get?
Yeah, we'll get some Reggie. He introduces some of the stuff in their Treehouse streams. Him and they'll have Bill Trennan and they'll have the current Japanese guys. They'll have the usual suspects.
I think we're good.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that those are pretty much the extent of our experience, and that's just based on kind of stuff we know.
Past E3s and stuff that we've read and stuff that we've seen,
but
a lot of people talk about.
But the thing about E3 is that literally any of this could be completely wrong, and there's probably so much stuff that we're not going to be able to see coming. So look forward to next week's show where we kind of wrap up all of the conferences and tell you everything that's new. Because until then, all of this is speculation.
Yep. These aren't facts. I know we like to deal in facts, but
yes.
So far, this is just
Who
the
knows?
E3 pre-show.
But yeah, so let's wrap this up then. So check us next week. We'll be back with our E3 wrap-up show. We'll probably be lighter than usual on the movies, TV, and music because of that.
Yep.
We'll go heavy on video games next week.
We did that last year.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and so
yeah, that brings us to the end of video games, and that brings us to your thoughts. You've been playing a video game.
Yes. I said last week I was going to get to it. I got to it this week.
Yeah, you definitely got to it. Or
Detroit
to you or something.
It's got to me. Detroit Becoming a Human. Okay, so
all right, go for it.
So this is from the same guys who did
Yep.
L.A. Noire.
No, it's not.
No?
That's completely wrong.
Okay, that was Rockstar. I already messed this
David
up.
Cage,
the
director and writer
Beyond
of
Two
this game.
Souls, that's what I'm thinking.
He did, yes. Previously, Beyond Two Souls, and then before that, Heavy Rain.
Yes, Heavy Rain.
And then before
what
that,
did I say?
Indigo Prophecy. You said L.A. Noire,
That
which
is
is not
wrong.
a game that he had any involvement with.
No, I was thinking Heavy Rain because they're both detectives and stuff.
Yeah.
But one's set in the 50s and one is
yes.
yeah.
Detroit Become Newman.
Yes.
Which is a Twitter joke I saw yesterday. Like, from Seinfeld.
You're right.
Detroit
Also Silent H.
Become Newman.
Become Newman. Yeah, so this is a choose-your-own-adventure game in the broadest of sense. Because you play as 3 different characters trying to accomplish 3 different tasks. But, they all, because it's a video game, they all intersect and intertwine with each other.
Yeah.
And different stories converge at the very end. Haven't
Supposedly.
got there yet. But
supposedly, for all we know.
For all we know, the way video games, the way stories work, and the way this thing is set up in movie-esque format, which works and then totally doesn't at the same time.
Yeah.
Because, A, choices, B, quick time events, and 3, it's a video game. So you can expand it longer than just 2.5 hours. But it's it's good, and then it's not.
So what you're kind of describing here seems like your experience with this game is like, okay, so I like this setup, I like some of these characters, and I like where this is going. And then something happens that you cannot control, or you want it to go a certain way, and it doesn't go a certain way, and then you're actively thinking about that, and it lessens the experience for you, and it makes you like upset because you're like, well, this is not where this story should go or where I wanted it to go.
Well, not only that, but there are points where it gives you choice to change the story, and then there are points where you think there should be a choice,
and there's not.
But it doesn't, because the game forces you to go in a certain direction.
So, David Cage clearly, he has a reputation for, he loves movies, and he has a reputation of making his games very cinematic. The downside about all of that, I feel, is that you focus on so much about these like things that making your experience like a movie, that it stops being the fun part about a game. The fun part about a game is that you have a certain amount of control over what's happening in the game world. And here, he wrests control away from you when you want it.
Which is weird.
And then gives it to you in parts that don't matter.
Which is strange, because this is a game about control and about choices.
It literally is.
Yeah.
It defies its own narrative in that way.
But the choices it gives you sometimes don't even affect the plot.
Yeah.
It's just you have the choice to continue or to die.
This is a game. Here's a good example. You played a bit pretty early on that was like you're an android serving this rich artist.
Yes.
And the rich artist is having you basically, hey, why don't you try painting? You're an android, you think you calculate, you don't necessarily think in creative ways. And so he thinks it would be a good exercise to make the android do something creative for once. Mm-hmm. So he has you close your eyes and paint something. So there's an option where you can choose like the ideas that you want to paint. It's like, oh, I want to paint about an android's integrity. And like an abstract concept. And so you do that. And then you paint like a portrait of yourself. And with all these colors, it's like super creative, right? So you have a choice for something that doesn't mean anything in the narrative.
Yes.
Then immediately after that, the rich artist's son bursts in, and he wants money. And you are commanded by the artist to not intervene and not pick a fight with the son, though the son wants to fight you.
Yes.
But the game will not let you follow that order. The game wants you to rebel and make your own choice, or not choice in this case.
Yes.
The game forces you to fight him, regardless of what you personally, as the android, or
the game
wants to do, or you personally want to do.
The android literally freezes, the game freezes, and it basically sets up a prompt to where you cannot continue unless you do this prompt. So, and those kind of prompts bug me in a game about choice, because I want to sit there, wait for something to not happen because I don't want to do it, and then for it to continue.
Yeah.
Because because my choice is not making the choice, which is making a choice.
And I feel like that moment is a metaphor for the entire problem with David Cage's games.
Yes.
Which is that he wants his games to tell a story, but he also wants to have this illusion of player choice and interactivity. Mm-hmm. He wants you to believe that you're interacting with this story and give you enough choices where it seems like that's the case, but then also tell the stupid melodramatic thing that he wants to shove down your throat.
Yeah, there's also a weird Robot Moses coming.
Yeah.
And what I'm getting out of that is one of you three are supposed to be Robot Moses.
Robot Moses.
But you don't know which one until the end. It sets up as one.
Yeah.
But there's also different aspects to it. And then there's also this third character.
Which is another whole problem with this game, which is I think it's playing a little fast and loose with both terminology and thematic stuff of existing civil rights things that happened in real life. It's basically
the game is
whacking you on the head. Yes. It really is. Like, look, isn't this like the civil rights movement from the 1960s? It's like, yes, game. And I know you're trying to do that.
I know you're trying to play minority cars to
Uh-huh.
me. I know you're trying to say, hey,
Look, these
they're taking my
androids.
jobs.
Yeah.
They took our jobs.
It's just, and there's ways, I think a different game, a better game, maybe I should say, could tackle those things in an interesting way. But it seems like David Cage and his co-writers and just the idea team behind Detroit just did not have the finesse to make that work or make that convincing. It just seems like they're just echoing things that are existing things, and then also at the same time not referring to the existing things ever happening, which they should have happened, right?
Yes.
Like, people in this universe should know that stuff out of the I Have a Dream speech is from that specific time, from that specific thing, and referencing a specific thing. They should know that, and thus not co-opt it for something that has nothing to do with that. You would think.
It also goes into, so aside from the main story of the androids, there is a subplot of World War III going on.
Yeah, that's literally relegated to television screens, as far as I can tell.
Television screens and any of the Time magazine-esque iPads that you see.
Yes, I made this joke. In the future, every magazine is Time magazine.
Yes, where each tablet gives you 2 stories, and that's it.
Which seems like a waste of tablet.
I know, but the scattered
unless that gets updated, which maybe it does. I don't know.
Maybe it does, but they're scattered throughout the world, and you're supposed to read it and then swipe through it, which uses the actual swipe tab or feature on the controller.
Which brings it to another point. Like, that's another recurring theme in his games, is that there's all this stuff like hanging out that makes 0 sense. There's all this stuff in the world that is just put there, and like, I get why it's there, because like, oh, it's like flavor text for the world, but like, none of it, if you break it down, actually makes any sense. Who's reading these things? Is this a subscription? Like, what? Like, where are these magazine tablets coming from? Like, how do these exist?
Yeah.
Why are these androids here? Like, who decided to have this little thing be so easily removed on the side of their head? Like,
and then why is it that only certain characters have it removed? Can everyone have them removed?
Shouldn't they all have them removed?
That's them connecting to this other thing, but as soon as it removes, it's disconnected, or it's like no longer a functional thing.
None of it makes sense.
But you can remove it and look like a regular person, but you don't know that you're an android.
So all that said, you're still playing this game.
Yeah. Well, I only have this game for another day.
Right.
But I'm going to return it. Yeah. So I'm going to try and do my best to finish it tomorrow.
We'll see.
We'll see, because we have stuff going on.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's trying all sorts of things that it can't commit to.
So coming off of God of War, which told a tight story.
Hell, coming off of Life is Strange Before the Storm, which we'll get to after you're done. This seems like a total mess.
Yes. This seems like I want to do everything while not committing to anything. Whereas God of War committed to a single story,
did it well,
had extra stuff that you could, that told you as you were doing stuff, and which I like the build stuff.
World building within that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible puzzles, too.
Yeah.
But it was all still tightly done compared to this, which is, I like this idea, and if we're in the future, this has to happen because it's the future, and this because it's the future, and this because I need to tell this message.
So yeah, I guess what we're saying is you could probably skip Detroit Become Human.
This thing will probably appear for story-wise, in terms of awards, because of how big it is.
Maybe.
But will not win a thing.
No, it's not that kind of game. It's definitely, it's not what you were hoping it would be.
This is not the big, big world building android versus human war. Like what is life? Let me give you this thought provoking deity of a game. No, I had too lofty expectations for this thing, and the reviews strongly iterate exactly that.
Yeah, it seems like people are about middling at this game. It seems like some of the positive reviews wanted to focus on a lot of like the visual stuff and storytelling that's going on.
And it looks great.
Yeah, it definitely looks great. It's definitely one of the really more impressive games I've seen on our PS4 Pro.
And yet, I never wanted to go to that because there's a certain level that AAA games need to have.
We're getting to that point now.
Yeah.
For sure. And a game presented like this game is, where not a whole lot is going on and nothing happens very quickly, can get away with having that kind of production because that's where the money is going, is to make the facial animations look really good because that's what you're looking at most of the time. So it makes sense.
Yes. Now there is a casual mode and there is an expert mode. I'm playing the casual mode, so maybe in the expert mode there's the actual decisions matter more. You know, you actually like lose characters die, you don't finish those stories.
But that wouldn't change, I think, how you're enjoying the story. Because really, the problems are further than that. The problems aren't, oh, these people could die. The problems are more, wait, but why? So, yeah. Anyways, anything else you want to say about Detroit before we move on?
Let's move on.
All right, I just want to briefly talk about this. Kind of not a good new game at all. It's a last year game, technically.
Yeah.
But yeah, we finished up Life is Strange Before the Storm, the prequel to Life is Strange. That wrapped up pretty strongly. I had initial misgivings after that first episode about like how it would treat the characters and how the story would go. But after episodes 2 and 3, they somehow made me care a lot, just like the first game did.
Yeah.
I think I had a similar trajectory in the second game than I did in the first game.
Because this is a prequel, I look at it through the eyes of the prequel problem.
Right, it does.
What am I learning new about these characters? Why should I care if I know certain characters are going to survive?
But this game actually played that in a different way for you, and it actually gave you a revelation that you didn't expect to have, which I thought was cool. So it kind of it did that thing, but the reverse of a problem. It actually benefited.
Mm-hmm.
So you
and
were
that's
able to
prequel's
figure out,
done right.
Right, for sure. And so, I recommend that anybody who played and enjoyed the first Life is Strange 2 go check out Before the Storm. It starts a little shaky. That first episode's not great. That first episode, especially the first part with the concert and stuff.
Yeah,
it's slow to start, and you don't really get into the meat of it until the very end of that episode. But the second one and the third one just chug. They just go, and you know everything, and there's some surprises, and there's some really cool spins on the characters. They do that thing where they're like so close to making you actually care for a character that you didn't think you were going to, and then immediately pull that rug out from under you again.
Yeah.
And they do that so well, and I know they did all of that in the first game too. But yeah, it really they work in a lot of full circle stuff. I have not played the bonus episode that comes with it yet. I'm looking forward to that now.
It looks like the bonus is the prequel to this.
Yeah, because damn though, like after playing this, I just want more. Like, it's that same reaction that I had the first time around, where I was like, when I was done, I was like,
You're done with the first Life
I'm
is
kind of
Strange.
sad. I was kind of sad when I was done with that. I'm kind of sad I'm done with this one too, because it's kind of like a world that I want to return to. It's like a TV show that I want to keep watching.
Yeah, but you realize that at the end of that first game,
yeah,
at the end of Life is Strange, you're left with two very different endings.
Oh yeah, you are.
But
we chose the right one.
So it's either, hey, we had to choose, like when you started off a sequel, should there be a sequel? Mm-hmm. What ending did you choose?
Yeah, we chose the right one.
Or, you had to make a different game with completely different characters.
Yeah.
But you like the characters we have now.
So who knows what they'll do in the future for the franchise, but I'm looking forward to, maybe that's something else we'll see at Square's show.
That's
maybe they'll actually talk about Life is Strange 2, the proper sequel.
Yeah, maybe.
Which the rumor is that it'll be about completely different characters, but in the same universe. Which I would love that.
Yes.
I want, now after playing this game, I want one about the
Prescotts.
No, I was gonna say I want one about a story that's all about the Dungeon Master girl. I want her story. That would be fascinating.
But she's not interesting.
I think she could be interesting. We don't know what's going on with her.
Yeah, he could be interesting.
Like there's the dynamic that this game didn't really go into with the whole like Mikey clearly having a crush on Chloe, and that not going literally anywhere. Like, they completely dropped that.
Well, that was your fault.
Well, no, I guess I could apparently have played a game with him and then I didn't play.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, don't want to dwell on it too long. We're going really long on this podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Trying to get long.
I enjoyed it. Just check it out because those games are, I really love that world and I want them to make more of it. All right, so that wraps up video games then. I don't think you have anything else to talk about for games.
No, I do not.
Next week will be all about games, so we'll get to it, I'm sure.
So let's plug away.
So yeah, let's wrap up the podcast then. So this has been the Media Boat Podcast. We are live every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Time. We'll be back next Wednesday live on our YouTube channel. So go to YouTube and search Media Boat Podcast and you'll find us. You can even subscribe to us. If you want notifications for when we go live, that little bell icon is your key. Click on that and you'll get notifications as soon as we're up. You can also find us on social media channels like Twitter, where we are at Media Boat Cast, and Facebook, where just search Media Boat Podcast and you'll find our page. Like and comment.
Yep.
You can also find us on patreon.com/MediaBoat, where you can help us out with money. You can donate as little as $1 a month to help us out with content and make us even better. Also, we'll make exclusive stuff for patrons, so check that out as well. You can also catch our audio version of the podcast through our RSS feed, which you can find on Podbean. That's our host. Search Media Boat Podcast on Podbean. You can use that to also find us on podcatchers of all sorts, like Apple Podcasts. What else? MediaBoatPodcast.com is where you can see our posts about this very podcast and maybe some other stuff if I get around to doing other stuff again.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, and thoughts for in the future of stuff that we like.
Yes.
Or didn't like. Who knows?
I have several movie thoughts to put up there and several video games. Behind. And yeah, I have a lot of thoughts I need to jot down eventually.
Yeah,
eventually.
All right, so that will do it for the Media Boat Podcast. We'll be back next week, so catch it then. Big E3 explosion next week, so get ready.
Big E3 next week. Also, we're going to have a couple reviews. Yep. Hotel Artemis.
Yep.
Dierks Bentley. Ocean's 8.
Yep.
Entire E3.
Snail mail.
Snail mail.
All right, catch us next week.
All right.
Jimmy Slate. Yep. All right, bye.
All right, bye. All right.
You know Jimmy Slate was in that?
Yeah.
I have to use the restroom.
YouTube after show. Real briefly.
Bye.
Matt, we can have Thursday night Project Runway parties at my house whenever it comes out.
Yeah, we can.
All right, so you go enjoy that. You go enjoy the restroom, and we will enjoy you guys next week. Thank you all for tuning in. Bye-bye.